One of the second features.
The posse grows larger anyway. That's a good start. Yeah. Yeah.
There's one problem with poetry readings is that you're usually reading this to fellow poets, and it's really marvelous to have an audience.
Well, we have to bugger about whether or not she's written anything poem. How has anything written?
Well, how new, too. I mean, I heard somebody read a piece last night that they had written yesterday afternoon
Wow.
and never polished. So did he write a poem or not? You know.
I know, I wrote this on the way on the bus on the way over. I've heard that a number of times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've heard somebody write it during the poetry reading. So there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's...
Yeah, in fact, I did a reading in Canton, Ohio back in June, and somebody in the audience wrote a poem based on something I said while I was up at the mic, and then read it right after me. It was okay. I still haven't gotten a copy of it. It would have been nice to have had, you know, but oh well. A couple of things. I've got copies of my 5th chapbook buried somewhere under the food. If anybody's interested, that came out back in November. And the 3 pieces I'm reading tonight are out of the chapbook I did back in April for National Poetry Month as a fundraiser for St. Baldrick's Foundation, children's cancer. And I'm going to be doing that again this year. And those of you who are either on Facebook with me or on email with me or whatever will get the invites to join in that. These 3 were prompted by an excellent North Carolina and Virginia poet named Mary Carol Hackett, who I'm pleased to have as a good friend. She's a college instructor who takes care of her students much better than most college profs do. She's very much involved in her community there. And the first of the poems was actually a prompt that one of her students gave her to use in class. My favorite shape is, and then you fill in the blank, whatever your favorite shape is. Since I can't color within the lines or follow instructions very well, I riffed off of that, and this is called The Shapes of You. The line of light that is your hand reaching for mine is not my favorite shape, any more than the curve of your breath as it lifts and lowers your breasts, the gentle raindrops of your words describing your day in the evening, the folds of thinking you in all the corners of my heart, each and more, part and parcel, shapes inseparable from the whole. Mary, who is, well, she's a lot younger than me, but she's still coming on in years, talked about dancing with the love of her life, John Eaton, at a food store grand opening in Virginia, which took everybody, I think, including them, by surprise, but says an awful lot about relationships, I think, when somebody does that. The title is Sur le Pont d'Avignon, and it comes from the child's nursery song. Exactly. Where's your son to play piano for us? You know? We danced under parking lot lights. It seemed the place. It seemed the moment to hold each other in a 2-step, to whisper as our lips brushed of our love. This is how we lived, dancing without invitation or warning at a local food store grand opening. It's what we felt like. You wore a poodle skirt, peasant blouse, Mary Jane's. I wore Bermudas, T-shirts, boat shoes. We wore our love like night lights on our sleeves. This is how we lived. People smiled, people clapped. Some seemed embarrassed, none joined in. Brief weeks later, you were gone, and it's never not the place, not the moment. John Eaton actually did pass away a couple weeks after that dance, suddenly, unexpectedly, and way too young. And Mary still talks about him a lot. It's been 3 years, 4 years, I guess. She still talks to him a lot, too. This is called Shelter. 1. She dreams about her husband in some deep night place where golden memories must take her, might sadden, but can't really hurt. They live in pioneer style. Simple house, animals and children mixing in the yard, crops sufficient to their needs, and so much love that struggles are eclipsed. He sings to her now, in death as in life. At every opportunity, his voice echoes. Even friends who don't believe in heaven would testify that's where his music comes from. 2. Their man-child wanders the house, minstrel singing his own doggerel in the French that she taught while sitting at the kitchen table, paring potatoes, cutting garden-picked tomatoes, chopping lettuce from the next row of turned earth over. The garden she tends still grows. The harvest won't be done for years, long after she leaves this place, to grandchildren not yet fully conceived. She sees her husband and their son, sees the future she now shapes alone, and thinks the world might be saved. 3. Spring is here. Red wings sing new dawns. The April sun takes the snow away, softens the aches in early 50s bones. Time to do a little cleaning in the car. Tucked between the seats, not yet faded with too many years, a simple note that takes her by surprise and makes her entire being smile. Mary, it says, I'd go through all the shit again if it still led me to you. She reads it twice, holds it close before the first tear falls. Thank you.
Do we have any other open micers? Oh, okay. Come on up. And you are? Mike. Mike? All right. Now we have Mike. It's like 3 poems in 5 minutes. Standard open mic.